So lighting is a very important element, and when we're trying to manage in a small tent with no light, or at least no ambient light at night, it sometimes slows things down, or you make mistakes or leave things that can either puncture your tent or be lost on the ground, say if you're not in a tent. So I wanted to talk about a couple of options. If you were hoping to get your phone to work as your light source, you'll drain out your battery. Some applications, some apps are pretty decent with giving a lot of comparative lumen to your field that you're looking at, but it sometimes, again, is limited to timing. So you can see a couple things here, but that's with a phone that will probably, and you need this more for emergencies, but as a last ditch effort, if you need it, use it. There are motion sensor lights that can be used, all LCD, and these are pretty decent because they can kind of be set into certain areas. I like to use it in case somebody walks across my field on the outside. These are like $5. They have motion sensor, or you can just turn it on with a button on the back to actuate. Nice, but you have to hold it, just like the phone concept. Remember, the other thing too is when you're working with this and you try to use your hands to, say, prepare food, you're one-handed, so it is a handicap. So something to remember when you're doing what you have to do at a campsite. One of the important things to note is when you're hiking, you need to use your hands for sticks or holding things or kind of using terrain. So having something in your hands, you're, again, handicapped. I like the headlamps. This headlamp actually comes with a battery pack in the back, and you just put it on via elastic, either over the head or over your hat. The only limiting factor with headgear is that the battery power might be shorter than hand lamp. There are some batteries now that have a longer charge, or at least the computer systems, the chips inside the lamps will utilize the LCD properly and have you be able to kind of, let me just turn off my sensor here. LCD will have you utilize more battery power efficiently. You can actually program these things too. Sometimes if you have options to get a battery pack with the backing, these are rechargeable. They're kind of heavy in grams compared to just the headlamps, but they last longer. And again, usually if you can program them, you can program them to the settings that you like. You can also, as a compromise, instead of having a headlamp, you can get this, which is handheld, but it's an elastic that holds your lamp, your flashlight, to your scalp. You can see this goes around the head. You have essentially a lamp that you can use as a headlamp, or you get a lamp that you can use with hand. Some people just like the practicality of a hand. So this is a Velcro band, and I've seen people kind of rig up their own way of putting this around the head. It's an option. And then again, the handhelds are usually longer lasting with more lumen. What you want to look for is the strength of the lumen. I think comparatively, when you go between how many volts, how many LCDs, how many batteries, the most important is lumen, and you want it's nice to compare it. It kind of is a formula for determining candle power or light power. So the higher the lumen, the more you can see in front of you, and the more distance you can see too. So when you're hiking a rough area or terrain, you want to see right in front of you, and you want to see ahead. This is a handheld, but it's very strong. This is about a 800 lumen lamp. It's also used for police force, so they have strobe in addition. You don't need strobing for hiking, but it also can set different strengths and intensities, which is kind of cool. So this too has a program in it. This is handheld, has a lanyard to just in case you kind of lose it on the ground. Obviously at night you'll be able to find it again, but during the day or during dusk it would be handy to have a lanyard too. So these are the options. The bottom line is that within your determined budget, you always have to figure out what's the best lighting source. But the bottom line is that you need a lighting source. It's always handy to keep water, handy to keep communication, and handy to keep lighting with you in your pack. It doesn't matter if you're planning for a day trip or not. You always have to prepare for the unexpected. And even if it's a day trip, eventually you're going to be in an area where you have to shut down the lights. So what do you use at night? Do you wake up the other people in the cabin or in the tent, or do you just kind of fumble around trying to figure out where did I put my water, where did I put my battery charger, where did I put my, within the tent, where did I put my objects? So it's good to have lighting.